absolutely massive.
I don't know which champ select music this is. I saw the words champ select. I hit play. All right.
I don't want pizza. It's Friday.
Pizza does sound great.
Yeah, we're getting pizza.
I decided to treat myself and went to Shake Shack for the first time ever for lunch, and that was the greasiest burger I've probably ever had, and did not treat me.
Shake Shack is actually somehow very slightly greasier than what is it? Steak and Shake. Yes. I don't think she can hear me, but I wanted to reply and the alternative.
I would reply, but I'm trying to do about 9 million things to get the stream ready.
I am systematically signing out of all of my work applications because if you don't, then their time limits count against you as if you're like still using them. It's weird.
I saw someone get on in my RotM tab, but it's not. Unless
this web page has entirely too much lack of dark mode. Too much light mode.
Are you on League?
I am working on that currently.
Okay. I just didn't know if I needed to look somewhere else. I already kicked
Intrepid Adventuring Compadre.
I already kicked Smitty out to make room for you, so
I shall be there post haste. Did I copy? Let's find out if I copied that tournament code. I did. I'm so smart. It was like 6 minutes ago. Ah, there we go. We're absolutely vibing.
You should have huge analysis moments today. You've faced you faced
literally everybody
CEG.
in this lobby.
You faced CEG twice, and the other one's your sister team, so like
it'll be killer.
they started the draft. I see that they started the draft. I'm still typing in other places, so it'll be a second.
I did not get the draft link.
I sent it.
Wait,
to you.
there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's back. We're good.
We go
Money.
gym.
We go gym. Oh, we have so many bands.
Yeah,
fantastic.
They're really just going through it, but I don't have it on stream yet because I'm trying to type the stream into other places.
Nice, huge. Okay, Return the Middle Six banned Trundle, Belveth, Pike, and CEG has banned Renata Glass, Gwen, and Seraphine, and we're getting B1 Zac. B1 Zac?
B1
huh?
Zac.
B1 Zac. A notorious lack of flex. With that said, I expect this to go top.
It's a real flex to lock it in.
It truly.
The character also does flex in his like joke animation, so there's some flexing happening. It's just not the right one.
Lots of flexing.
Makes much more sense. Locked in as an R1 for Conduit.
Yeah, that seems entirely reasonable. Has a fairly good jungle matchup into Zac. Also a notable flexible champion. Hey, look at it! It's the best AD carry on the patch. I'm pretty sure it's still true. If you don't one-trick Zeri. Question mark.
I think Zeri took enough nerfs in the last patch that maybe isn't
the
best
That's
one.
possible, yeah.
Might be the second or third best now.
That being said, it is the most consistent AD carry on the patch. There we go. That's much less inflammatory. And probably just factually accurate.
Also, the Pentakill machine. We saw Data pick one up for Banditos last night in a RotM match. And then today, there were 2 Sivir Pentas, one for Jackie Love and one for Stixay. Because I apparently can just watch Pro League of Legends rather than, do chemistry at my chemistry job. Kaisa and Leona are going to be locked in for ROTM.
True. Interesting point of analysis. Sivir, the most recent pentakill queen. However, Kaisa, most professional pentakills on any League of Legends champion by a very, very wide margin.
Comp got the one on Sivir. Stixay was Zeri. Oh, I got fucking boomed. I'm such a loser. It's the Tarek picked away for Conduit esports Ghost.
Actually, really like that. That's yeah. This is gonna get real scary, real quick. That's 3 really good power picks for CEG, and I mean, historically speaking, I'm sure Return of the Middle Sticks does fairly well on these champions, but they're not exactly pulling anything that's hotly contested in the current meta.
Yeah,
from any competitive standpoint.
I think if this draft were on a different patch, these champions look great. Like, these have great synergy. This is very well done, like, synergistic draft if you're drafting like last year or 2 years ago at Worlds. But right now, these champions aren't as strong. Well, more bans. Olaf, Vladimir, Anivia, and Vagar. And the brand is locked in for CEG, the first off the board pick for Conduit esports.
So that could be brand mid. I have to assume that CEG is lined up in order in champion lobby, champ select and in lobby. In which case it would not be Old Man Genetics mid. So I was gonna say I was expecting to see a Zillion banned out. But it's going to be Diana and Mordekaiser rounding out the draft for Return to Middle Sticks, and I like both of those characters.
They got a dive comp. There's not much more to analyze. They got a dive comp.
They do not go gym, they go in. We go in.
Also, big apologies for probably throughout this cast. I'm attempting to eat my dinner right now. Oath will hopefully be getting dinner here shortly. So, if there's long awkward pauses, we're probably just trying to eat food and like do the human thing, because this cast is absurdly early. I got off work at 5, picked up dinner and came home. Oath got off work at 6, so like, we're really doing it.
Yeah, hopped off of a call with a customer and hopped onto a call with my co-caster, and it's Dr. Mundo, who notably goes wherever he wants.
Probably top lane.
Likely top lane. Which would push Brand into mid. Not that that was really a question considering the Tarek lock-in.
Yeah, I also feel like, if you're... I don't necessarily know JJH at all, but if you're the kind of person who has Vagar and Anivia banned away from you, you probably play Brand mid. Like, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, that checks out. I would assume his 4th pick in this setup would probably be like Lux or Nico.
Vel'Koz, Xerath? Yeah.
Possibly. So, we've got very clear-cut lines on both of these squads, right? Return of the Middle Sticks wants to go in. Conduit Esports Ghosts wants them to come in because they have Cosmic Radiance and a bunch of other really fun disengage tools plus Pyroclasm to throw at you once you get in. So a lot of this game is going to hinge on who has a distinct lead, because if you're just playing the game out in normal 5v5 and you're not side laning your 4-0 Mordekaiser at any point in the game, you're probably just coming down to who has the better execution and the fatter wallet.
Also, if the team fight lasts less than, 3 or 4 seconds, I bet RotM wins it. If it lasts more than 3 or 4 seconds, I bet CEG wins it.
Yeah. So with those absolutely fabulous analysis points, RotM Dread needs to get ahead this game, or they're not going to have a very fun time.
And the issue with that is you have Zach.
You do have Zach. Not the worst early ganker in the world, but doesn't really want to be spending a whole lot of time outside of his camps for the first 10 minutes of the game. Kinda needs items. Kinda needs levels.
I feel like you just have that choice of this is a gank game or this is a farm game. And if you're doing a gank game and your ganks aren't successful back to back to back to back as Zach, you're going to be so far behind Wukong.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't hinge one way or the other, kind of does both in equal measures, right? He can catch up in camps because he farms pretty fast. He can also gank relatively well. But Zach, I feel like if you're going for one gank, you gotta chain them all together because you're not catching back up on your jungle camps.
Yeah, no, you're going like top to mid to or you're either going like top to mid back to top, or you're going like mid to bot and then you regank bot after you take one camp because you just blew summoners or something. Your other options are like full clear, buy an item, hope that you at one point got to contest a scuttle crab or something like that.
Well, our draft's locked in, our players locked into position. We have a 3-minute delay. So just to take a small step back, because I didn't do an introduction. This is Aegis League Playoff Round 1, round of 16. We got a full best of 5, so you know, we could be going late, or more likely, because it's an amateur League of Legends best of 5, it will go 3-0, and this game matters a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, like, very, very important.
My amateur League of Legends spiel about best of 5s is basically like, the mental is just too much to overcome. It doesn't particularly matter where you're seated when you're going into playoffs, but you gotta win the first game. Otherwise, you probably just tilt out and lose the 3. Because, I don't know. There just aren't that many comebacks.
I've seen them go one of two ways. There's what you're describing, which is by far the most common, especially at the gold level. In some cases, the platinum as well, just because it's not that far removed. There is also the back to the drawing board actually pans out. We lose the first game and then we sweep you. It goes 3-1. Very rarely do these series ever actually back and forth their way into silver scrapes.
Yeah.
They're typically either the draft has been solved after the first game, or one team just has a significant advantage over the other.
Yeah. The second one, aka the fuck it we ball. Kale, you cannot be up here. Happy National Dog Day, by the way, to Kale. And also every other dog out there. He still cannot have chocolate on National Dog Day, though, so gotta keep him away from me.
And
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you. I really like this Red Side draft from Conduit Esports Ghost. They're probably riding high off of eliminating Harvest last week, and so ready to take down Dread potentially, and just send our entire org to the Shadow Realm.
It would be a tragic outcome, however, it is entirely possible.
Dread is the last remaining team that we have from this split, by the way. So everybody, hopefully, send the Spirit Bomb if you're a RotM fan out there. Or if you're here supporting the CEG, I want to see you too, but not as much, No offense.
I'm not really sure how they could really take any offense to that. That seems reasonable.
I mean, the most fun casts are usually when there's like people on both sides just talking shit in the chat. It's usually a good time, but sometimes we get too far one way or too far the other, and it's not as fun. But we made it through spectator delay number 1. We have a minimum of 2 more of these to do. How do you feel about that?
Hey man, we're already in it for the long haul. I'm fine with that. It's how it is. We're loading up in. Time to review the Skinergy. A very important part of the casting experience. It is, in fact, not particularly synergistic unless we are seeing quite a few chromas, actually.
Yeah. A lot of new skins, though, so could
Yeah,
potentially
no, there's
see
some,
the
like,
chromas come in.
individually, a lot of these skins are pretty cool. Solar Eclipse Sivir, very new. Actually, a big fan of Battle Academia Wukong. Corporate Mundo is timeless. Prestige, Battle Queen Diana, very nice.
Alright, well, we're into game for game number 1. Return of the Middle Sticks Dread on the blue side. Conduit Esports Ghost on the red. And a full best of 5 ahead of us. They did kind of go for a pink theme. Pink and purple for CEG. I appreciate that.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I like that. It's pretty good.
I don't like the name change. By the way, Okana is the same as RotM. Bing Bong is the same as... Oh god, I don't even remember what his name was at the start of
Is
the split.
Okina something?
Okina Nozomi, I think. Now he's just Okana. He's just okay. Oh, boring level 1, which usually you see game 1 of a best of 5. Feels like this is the highest percentage of 5 points that you'll see.
Yeah, no, the way it goes is game 1 5 point, game 2 losing team invades, and then that pattern persists. Whoever loses the next game is the one to invade the following game.
Yeah. Interestingly, Okana does not have his teleport spell. He's got a ghost. So, looking to be a little more aggressive and potentially more lane dominant against DXBS. There's a lot of initialisms on Conduit Esports, which I'm not a big fan of. Some people really like that though. The level 1, Smitty trying to get aggressive. They take a bigger chunk out of Vandal than they got the return on Smitty, so that feels pretty good.
Yeah, that could be worse. We are seeing almost assuredly not tank Diana, as it is mid lane and has an electrocute, so as good as the build is, we're gonna likely see a proto belt plus some more.
Something we hadn't touched on. This is an all magic damage topside from RotM and a potentially all magic damage team composition from RotM, which DXBS has to love. Like that, he's a big fan of that. Gets to build the magic resist items on Mundo. Doesn't have to build the silly armor items. Gets to build magic resist and health. That feels pretty good.
Yeah, gets to unironically purchase Spirit Visage first after Mythic if he wants to, because that's actually just good this game.
Oh.
That trade didn't look fun. Or interactive, really.
Yeah, Arrow struggling a little bit early on, but the mana costs on the brand champion usually are his undoing. We'll have to track and see how JJH is able to manage that one. Oh, he hit the
In a
Q.
vacuum, you look at this mid matchup and you're like, oh yeah, it's Diana into a squishy mage, she kill. And you'd be right, except it's also ranged into melee for the first, like, 6 levels of it. Until Diana can just all in you on repeat.
In Brand, it's a little bit of a harder, like a deceptively hard champion to all in, because the stun gets easier to direct straight in your face. Thank you for showing that immediately as Aeropox is going to fall for first blood to Black Eyed Peas.
Exit.
Number one. Number two, you just build a bunch of health in the build. Like Leandri's has health, Demonic Embrace has health, Rylai's has health. Like all of the items you want just give you more health, which inherently makes you harder to kill. For Diana, who doesn't do like percent health damage, does missing health damage, does just straight magic damage. So
Yeah, you end up with you actually end up with something between 2,000 and 2,500 health average at your 3-item, not quite level 18 spike for Brand, so it's not it's not impossible, but there isn't really a lot of max health damage at all on the side of Return of the Metal Sticks. I mean, at least not that's going to be hitting Brand very consistently.
as I'm immediately corrected in the chat, Leandri's does not give any health anymore. It used to. Who knows? They need to bring that back. They don't need to bring that back. It probably is bad for the game, otherwise it would have it, but... Anyway, a 1-0 advantage for CEG early on. And Wukong didn't really pay for that gank in any way. Just got to go free, bonk a last hit, and continue on his merry way without dropping a camp. So Black Eyed Peas feels pretty good thus far. Everyone else is
could be a lot worse.
Doing perfectly symmetrical violence to the minions, so not too much has happened this game. Riftmaker gives health. It's a better item. Yeah, true.
Yeah. It's Cloud Dragon first, and at least my jungler is very outspoken about not caring at all about Cloud Dragon. I would imagine that sentiment is shared by at least some of the members on both teams, so we might not see a lot of early action bot side, which will suit Old Man Genetics and Vandrel just fine, as they elect to ignore anything except killing minions.
There's a stat in pro play this year though. Cloud Soul has a 93% win rate, which is the highest of any soul.
I'm telling you, man, there isn't a single statistic in any video game better than movement speed. It's not possible.
Atlas is going in for a trade and is trying to go out from a trade. Old Man Genetics just layering in the auto attacks, and the kill eventually goes over to Smitty. Atlas gets the little heal, but Vandrel takes him down with the dazzle, and now we have supportal combat.
Ding, 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 ding. And it's gonna get immediately ruined by good Shade Slayer being forward, and they're gonna pick up, I assume. Yep. Very easily. He's got no flash. He's out of there.
Yeah, made him kith the minion.
Overall, really good for Return of the Middle Sticks. Atlas actually picking up the kill before dying there is fantastic for them. Don't know how he pulled that off, but it happened.
Well, 2-2. Eventful. Both supports getting extra gold, which you always like to see. I like to see it. I always think it's funny when supports are very fed because, you know,
the type of supports I used to play, it was just good to have a lot of gold on. But those have kind of fallen out of favor. Nobody really picking Swain in the bot lane anymore.
Yeah,
just
much
notably, better in another lane where it gets more gold.
Again, I got to watch Pro League of Legends today, which was remarkable. Game 5 of Rogue versus Mad, Trimby had Lux support and did just 1 billion damage on that champion. So maybe it happens again at some point.
I'd be pretty happy with that. Lux, one of my favorite champions, not particularly viable in mid at the moment. Not pickable, just not prioritized. Window
why
file.
Does Okana have a blue buff?
I'm not positive.
Also, why
think
does he have a Bomby Cinder? But more importantly, why does he have a blue buff?
so I think it's gonna be because of the ghost. It's gonna be like Nasher's Sunfire, Mordekaiser top, and you just build like AP after that. You makes him a little bit more tanky.
Yeah, 3v3 in the bottom lane. The old man Genetics has to get out of there with the On the Hunt. The collapse in from Aeropox, though, gets a big moonfall, and Atlas picks up his first kill on Vondrel. Wasn't a 3v3. Was in fact a 4v3. They had the extra Diana champion. The Diana DLC was installed. And now Gid, is he going to go for the Elastic Slingshot? Not wanting to attempt Fate, it looks like. Gonna take the Dragon instead.
It looks like no is the correct answer. So if I had to guess, Black Eyed Peas invaded topside blue buff, and Okana was just looking for it and stole it away. I don't know how you do that because you don't have smite and the enemy jungler does. But that's the only thing I can unless this is just a visual bug, but
No, it just dropped off, so I don't
so it's not.
think it is. Other option, I guess, would be it was when Arrow died, and they were like, I don't need this blue, I'm Zac, so come get it, Mord. Which also doesn't make much sense, but
Not a ton, but entirely possible. Some slight CS discrepancies developing a little bit. 10 in the top lane, gonna be equalized when, well, mostly equalized when DXBS picks up this wave, but 20-ish developing out of bot, not particularly surprising given that the character with the boomerang is over there, killing things.
yeah, I'm kind of interested in the build that Atlas goes for. Kai'Sa notably did get buffed on this patch because Riot always wants Kai'Sa to be viable for Worlds for some reason.
Entertainment metrics. Like I told you, Kai'Sa, highest pentakill count in professional play by like 80. It was like 129 or 130 or something. It's ridiculous.
I would have thought Sivir just because of duration, not necessarily. Anyway, Aeropox is in quite a bit of trouble, trying to get away from Black Eyed Peas. The knockup is just well timed, interrupts the Elastic Slingshot, so no CC from Gid Slayer. And now he is going to get turned into Bloblets eventually, trying to get the return kill on JJH. But now, oh no, all the Bloblets are there. The Void Seeker from Atlas does equalize, well, it doesn't quite equalize. It turns it into a 2-for-1 rather than a 2-for-0, which helps out a little bit for ROTM, and now Vandrel and Old Man Genetics will just hit minions and go back to bottom lane.
Actually pretty nice. Atlas gets to shove in that wave, equalize a little bit of the CS differential, get back to bot in time, well, almost in time to catch this one, and deny some of those minions from JJH, not from CEG as a whole, because Black Eyed Peas was able to pick them up, but overall, really nice when otherwise it would have just been a clean 2-for-0 for CEG.
Yeah. Neither team really looking at Rift Herald is kind of interesting to me. Also, just the general lack of tower plates that have gone down means that our laning has been very even, which you don't often see. It's kind of interesting. And I mean, look at the CS counts, right? They're pretty much just even across the board. Like, we don't need to have a farm stat.
Yeah, farm stat irrelevant. Kills, which is the only way I play the game, of course. So
yeah. Arrow gonna take a little stun there from JJH and a passive proc. Smitty trying to scrap it out with Black Eyed Peas and Vandrel, but they do not have the numbers just yet to be able to handle this one. Black Eyed Peas doing a lot of damage to Smitty, forcing his flash away, but it might have been too late as now On the Hunt gets popped. A couple more autos and Black Eyed Peas picks up that kill. Atlas just trying to do a little bit of damage in return, but just a very slow chase down from Conduit Esports Ghost, and they'll pick up a kill on Smitty.
yeah, this time it's the 4v3 the other way for Conduit Esports Ghost. That was fighting this
really
out, and I don't think he wants it.
exhaust. He dashes back in just for the little shield. Now Aeropox is here, pulls Vandal into the turret. They're able to take down the Taric before the Cosmic Radiance is popped. Aeropox trying to look for another turn, but just doesn't have anything quite left in the tank, and will have to leave it at the 1-for-0.
Oh, 1-for-0 out of that. Not too terrible. Pretty much every summoner burned out of bot side except the Ignite for Smitty. Of course, there was no real point at which he would want to drop that. This has got to be the most boring top lane on the world to play.
I think, by definition, most matchups against Mundo turn out that way, regardless of whether they start that way or not. But especially when you opt into a Sunfire cape against the Dr. Mundo. He rushed Fawn, and now he no die, ever.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, Fawn Rush, you know, it's, as mentioned, pretty good this game. Not bad at all. Very playable, for sure.
Helps him go where he pleases slightly faster, with more speed.
Slightly faster, slightly safer. Definitely with a lot more swag.
He also picked up the free ass boots, so he's got the extra movement speed on the extra movement speed, which makes him move fast. That's the analysis. You're talking about movement speed being the most underrated stat in gaming, or the best one, and he's picking up a lot of extra of it.
Yeah, just straight up the best one, as displayed by some of the more ludicrous clips from I Am the Fast Jhin in Earth mode. Very good. You can also technically pull that build off in regular League, however it's not nearly as effective and takes way longer to get to.
Also the Zeri champion, just normally, but yeah.
Yeah, no, Zeri's existence in general, except I don't like pulling it, I don't like pulling examples from champions that Riot has released in the last 2 years, or 2.5 years, because I don't know, man. They should just be it. Just make League of Legends 2 and put all your OP bullshit in there. Let me play Poppy again. Bad example. That character's good right now. Still very simplistic though.
I thought you meant old Poppy, and that thing was cancer. And please no. Vondrel
please,
is
yes.
in Cyber Brazil, and we'll see how Rio de Janeiro treats him. So far, so fine, but they will eventually pick up that kill. Now the dive in. This is the fight that ROTM wants, or at least what they want it to look like, but the Cyclone's doing so much work, and they're able to take down Atlas, and now they have the Sivir able to join the party, but it gets a shutdown. This is just such a mess. Now Atlas dives into melee range on the Kai'Sa. He's outputting so much damage as an AD carry in the current year, but now gets stunned up. Old Man Genetics finishes him off with the Sivir, and you have to watch these two AD carries during these fights.
Yeah, this is really fun. Teamfight's going exactly as we predicted them
wanted
going
it.
initially.
He's still got his passive up, and now he'll demonstrate that he still has his passive up. But if Old Man Genetics can walk up, which he can't as he dies to Okana, and now DXBS, the last one left, they'll pop his passive shield. There's nothing to slap him into, but Okana doesn't care. Oh, maybe he should have cared just a little bit. That tower's doing a little bit of damage to him. And they weren't quite able to finish off the Dr. Mundo. Now Gid drops the Rift Herald in mid lane, and they're looking for this first tower. Okana has the shield just in time. Aeropox dives in, but the Cosmic Radiance is popped by Vondrel as Shelly crashes into the tower. There's a dragon up, but this feels a little risky from Return to the Middle Sticks right now, as the rest of CEG are able to join back up.
Yeah, they don't quite have Moonfall yet. They don't have their Killer Instinct on Kai'Sa. I think they should probably let this one go, and that does seem to be the call. Maybe they let Dragon do a little bit of damage and they contest it. That does seem to be the call.
You can also just fly over and go for the smite. I don't know why more Zacs don't try that. It doesn't cost you anything unless you get interrupted, which Wukong R is about the only thing that interrupts you straight up. Maybe
yeah, and Wukong would have
really well-timed Taric stun, but that seems a little ludicrous, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Wukong would also have to like move quite a decent distance in a very short time to get in the radius for ulti actually interrupting Gid there. Atlas might be in.
A little bit
Some
of trouble.
danger.
He's got a little shutdown on him too, so this is a pretty valuable piece of gold that would go over. But they can't find the last hit on him. Atlas escapes as Gid and Smitty fly in to assist their ADC.
That's so ridiculously illegal. I mean, he burns both summoners again. Did not have the killer instinct to burn, but really just something else. I think that was single digits. I didn't actually check, but I think it was.
Gid, this
Gid?
is... Yeah.
Huh?
There's only one way that this goes, and it's not well for our team. It's a double kill for JJH, and a lot of the good that just happened was undone very quickly.
Like you just leave. You go spend money. You help Diana push mid. I don't care. You don't do that.
I'm being informed
Preferably.
Okana just walked down and took blue and Gromp again.
Oh, okay. Well, he's just he is power farming.
So,
I
what
guess.
this is it's a top diff.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
They're giving him the jungle camps, and that makes him the better player. Top diff.
Top diff.
Arrow steals a red buff. RTM are just murdering jungle camps during this whole process, so that's something that they're getting back at least. Gid is now walking through his blue side jungle and discovering that his top laner has taken all of his jungle camps. POV, you're Zac and very sad right now.
POV, you're Zac and very poor, and you also have a blasting wand.
Yeah, you're going
So I
demonic
guess
embrace.
that's
because
demonic embrace
you need that to kill Dr. Mundo, right?
for sure. For sure.
Honestly, it's a good item. I don't know that you go second, but it's a good item.
Yeah, it seems like a fine item, but you've also already got a Mordekaiser and a Diana. You probably don't need any more magic damage. But you don't need to. You have enough magic damage. You don't need to index into building more magic damage. You probably want more frontline.
Counterpoint. The burn is funny.
Counterpoint. Somebody else can supply the burn, which is funny.
We had a discussion 2 nights ago on stream about how the most important stat in League of Legends is how funny it is. Thank you, Lexus, for engaging me in that conversation. So, if at any point there's an item that would be more funny to build, that's the item that you go for. Anyway, Okana did not pick up a Nashor's and did pick up a Demonic Embrace as a second. Which is
I believe in Nashor's Mordekaiser. I always have. It's one of my favorite Mordekaiser builds. But if we're electing to go demonic before Nashor's because you're laning against Dr. Mundo, that seems entirely reasonable. As long as you still get the Nashor's, because that item is funny. Especially when you're on the bonk champion. You just hit them with the mace, but it's really fast.
Yeah, you just send them to horny jail.
Yeah,
I do kind of miss that iteration of Mordekaiser, where you hit them with the 3 bonks really fast, and that was all of your damage that you ever dealt.
Yeah, I did like that actually. That was.
And it was a weird multiplier too. It was like 1, then 2 times, then 9 times or something on the third one. Like just an absurd amount of damage on your third bonk.
Yeah.
Anyway, our team grouped up for a dragon here in 24 seconds, and Vandrel is going to be the unfortunate person who gets the trip to Brazil. Okana is still trying to frontline in here. They didn't actually take down the Taric, and now the Cosmic Radiance comes out. It's going to drop down onto a lot of key members, but finally starting to wear off, and Atlas picks up 1 kill. They get the stun onto JJH. Atlas dashes in. Old Man Genetics doing a God's work on the other side, though, able to take on the Mordekaiser, turn the Zac into Bloblets, and with DXBS and Old Man Genetics, they're going to successfully get the double kill. Atlas is burning still to a passive from Brand, and between the 3 members of RTM, they have about 1,000 health, so they're going to have to give up this dragon. Well,
maybe more like 600. They should have.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like he was stalling to make sure that they got the recalls off. Or I think that's what he thinks he was doing. at minimum.
Yeah. I think they're just out if he just teleports with them, but yeah, it's fair enough, I guess. It's a second dragon, though, and Atlas is going to walk in?
And walk back out.
That
And
man...
then walk in again. Okay.
Yeah.
We were seeing if they were just gonna like forget about smite and they had really good timing, and there's not really anything else you can do, I suppose, unless you walk to top lane from base and just take that tower because you know they're on drag.
Walking in there is the scary part, right? Like,
Mordekaiser has his third blue buff.
you'll love to see it.
Do I? I kinda don't. I'm not gonna lie to you, I kinda don't.
I do kind of wish Aeropox had a blue buff at some point.
I do kind of wish Aeropox had not gone for Night Harvester. I think the pen that you get per legendary item off of and the utility of Proto Belt is just way better here for Diana.
Yeah, the Proto Belt, especially when people are running with On the Hunt, can help track him down, give him the suck in and whatnot.
I also feel like it's just really underrated, the fact that on 3 items you have like 15 flat magic pen off of your mythic for free. It's really good because you're already indexing a lot of magic damage.
For free,
So they're
at
gonna
the
be
cost
building
of
MR.
having a different mythic item, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, Night Harvester got buffed recently. I still think this item is trash. It's actually so bad. How is this a mythic?
It does have one of the single coolest ornament upgrade names, though.
That is true.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the Vespertide, but it's 13 to 11. There's 400 gold between our two teams, slightly in favor of ROTM. I'm going to hit X and show you the discrepancies, and there really isn't one. The biggest one's top lane, but it's well evened out in other places. So, yeah, the big advantage right now for CEG is the 1 extra dragon, and the big advantage for ROTM is the fact that they have a 500 gold lead.
Yeah.
That's...
And I'm not really certain that I value 500 gold more than I value another dragon.
No,
But
I think I would take CEG's position in terms of overall stats, but like it's very even. It's hard to find much between them. Now Okena gonna get ganked up in the top lane. Black Eyed Peas is who he chooses to pull into the Death Realm, and it's gonna be a 1v3 with Smitty trailing. I don't know that he's Okena enough. Smitty's still going for the engage. Pops another jump in there, and in comes Gid now to turn it into a 3v3. DXBS and Vondrel trying to retreat. Black Eyed Peas trying to get away, and now they're going to pop the Cosmic Radiance as well. There's a solo kill on the other side of the map for Atlas that somehow happened. Gid is in. Vondrel gets enough healing that Tarek is undying as DXBS finishes him off. 2 kills in the top lane for CEG in exchange for the 1 in the bottom lane for Atlas. Or the mid lane, excuse me. My mini-map is currently covered by my drink that I haven't been able to drink. There we go. I've moved it. Now I can see the mini-map. Better analysis. Okay. Tips for analysis. Move your drink out of the way of the mini-map. Okay.
Huge. We should really start like a like a YouTube series on like tips and pointers for casting amateur events, because we do this a lot. That being said, some things to unpack about that fight. Mordekaiser does not do damage. Not really. Like, he kind of does damage. He does fake damage. It's not real.
And he's buying another item with a Giant's Belt, so he's not going to do damage in his next item either.
Mordekaiser build that's like an accepted Mordekaiser build that is not this one, because I don't know if this was accepted or not. Probably 100 to 0's Wukong in the Cyber Brazil before he ever comes out of it and gets Cosmic Radiance in that top lane fight. But this one actually just looked really, really weak. Maybe it is a little bit different once you've got the Rylai's, but I kind of feel like it isn't, and I don't think these... Because like it plays against the win condition that we talked about for Return of the Middle Sticks in Champ Select, right? You want to be ending these fights faster. Going toe-to-toe in drawn-out extended engages, which is what this Mordekaiser build is good at doing, is not what you want to be doing against their team comp.
Yeah, I think ideally you have Okena in a side lane, but he didn't even bring teleport, so like that's out the window as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gid has a good flank right now, and we're about
really
to scrap
flank.
over this dragon. He's currently staying there. Okena pulls in the clone, just trying to stack up his passive, it looks like. Gid. Is he going to go for it? He's slingshotting. He gets spotted on the ward. That's such a good ward by Vandal.
Yeah, you have to assume the way Return of the Middle Sticks is playing to this side of the river, that's where their Zac is. You also don't have any vision there. It's a pretty easy ask to get that ward down, but the timing for like right as the slingshot was being triggered.
Okena pulls Black Eyed Peas into the Death Realm, looking for the jungler. Oh, Aeropox just not quite able to find that Moonfall with the setup. Now Zac's into the backline. We have to watch Atlas, though. The air auto is coming down. DXBS slowly getting chunked through. Smitty gets some more CC. Atlas jumps to the side, looking for the assassination. Flashes back over the thick part of the wall. Just watch Atlas in these fights. That's all of RTM's damage, and it just isn't enough for him to output. It's a triple kill for Old Man Genetics, who was under no threat during that fight. And now CEG will be on Mountain Soul Point with a Dr. Mundo. Yeah.
That's a little terrifying in and of itself. We're at my favorite part of the video game where Mordekaiser was going to take his 4th blue buff. Assuming he doesn't die to it. Yeah, okay, he's got the shield. The funny shield. No, you can't do that. There we go. So not only are they... Oh, they're already just starting it. Okay, so while CEG takes what is likely to be a relatively uncontested Baron, we get to highlight there was a really, really good job from JJH of stalling out that engagement. He was the one to flash out of Aeropox's initial Moonfall, and he also popped a stopwatch that forced Atlas to flash back over the wall because he didn't end up picking up a kill while he was over there, and he wasn't able to kite further into the jungle with Gid behind him to try and continue drawing out that engagement. Because like you said, Atlas is everything. Like, there are 0 kills on Aeropox. He's not adding like a whole lot of damage to any of these engagements, especially with pit stopping for Oblivion Orb and going the Night Harvester route. Like, this would have worked a lot better, I feel like, if he had gotten early kills.
Yeah, and then like your other secondary damage is Okena, who is either in the Death Realm with one person or has gone a build that doesn't also lend itself to really doing that sort of thing. Ooh, Atlas playing with fire a little bit, but now Gid going in, just trying to find it's a big let's bounce, and Vandal is going to be the first victim of the fight. Aeropox on the flank, Cosmic Radiance comes down, just gets the pull in with the Moonfall. Now the damage finally coming down. Old Man Genetics still able to kite that one back out and take down Aeropox. It's a huge boomerang blade back across, but Atlas is able to equalize, but now DXBS is on a rampage from base. He's so fast, and Atlas cannot escape the Dr. Mundo. It's an 800 cold shutdown for Mundo, and Okena's in the Death Realm with JJH. He's going to pop out and be very sad here in just a couple of seconds. He does take down JJH, gets the little healing. Black Eyed Peas is fine after all of that, gets the little heal from his Triumph proc, and Black Eyed Peas and DXBS come out the other side of that fight. Once again, the Dr. Mundo has not died and will not die this game, I'm going to predict.
Yeah, it does seem like pretty much impossible for him to drop. I'm thinking of like things that could have been built instead of these items that I'm looking at that might do a better job of killing Dr. Mundo. Bodark for Atlas feels like one of them, but I don't know what you sub out for it. You kind of need everything here except for maybe
Look at the
PD
man right now.
Yeah, this is fine. This is fine.
He can still just
He's
walk
gonna
out.
die.
Is he?
He's gonna... He has no,
Okay,
yeah,
he
he has no
finally died.
flash. He can't get over that wall. He
My
is gonna
prediction was
die.
immediately proven wrong, so you know, caster curse
It,
and
it was
whatnot,
bold, and I appreciated it.
but he shouldn't have died. He just didn't need to stick around for that inhibitor, but he did, and then
Yeah, no, I give full credit for this over to my captain and jungler Scrams. That qualifies. That clip qualifies for the Comfort Inn and Suites overstay of the game. So I've always been a huge fan of that one. That
yeah,
one's one of my.
that's
That's up there for sure.
I appreciate that one. Sorry if it's trademark scrams.
I mean it's trademark, but I've just accepted that I'm stealing it. So.
We'll work it out with the lawyers.
Mhm.
Or maybe they just also sponsor the stream. He cited the source. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have like licensing rights to the IP, but it's under free use as a
Oh
parody
no.
or critique. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, he's just.
You're not
Well,
really legally allowed to be there, so I can't feel too bad for him, but it is unfortunate.
Split push tower picked up by Aeropox after the objective bounties have come up for some reason in a 2000 gold game. Yeah, anyway, Okena has to use the Death Realm to try to escape. Smitty is just trying to set a little battle line for Atlas, but with no one in front of him, it's going to fall apart very quickly. The kill goes to Vandrel, and JJH just watches as Okena burns down. That's probably going to end game number 1, unless Aeropox just has the most massive pop-off of his life right now. I'm waiting for it. I'm not waiting like patiently with bated breath.
Not with
anything,
bated
but,
breath, yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but here it is, maybe. Aeropox, that's a big moonfall. He just doesn't have the damage right now. He takes down this Brand, and Gid is just going to buy a little bit of extra time with his body, but there's still 20 seconds before Alice respawns. It's game 1. It's going to go over to CEG. They played... Their team comp was pretty much perfect. Honestly,
I mean, yeah, you can't you can't draft better than that on this patch, assuming like comfort picks and huge prio is banned out. Like maybe you're playing like Yumi's Zeri in the bot lanes, which is slightly more optimal, possibly.
well,
But honestly, the way they drafted it, I would have wanted Taric in this game anyway.
not
So
even just from a meta perspective, but from a we're playing against dive. We need stuff that counters dive. They got
yeah,
enough of it, and the Dr. Mundo pick is just it's chef's kiss. I'm not gonna make that noise into my mic because it's very odd, but they got that on R5. They knew how much magic damage they were against, and they're like, Slammy Mundo. And that was
yeah.
perfect. Like, he got to build, look at all this magic resist. This man doesn't die. He built a Randuin's Omen just to slow down the attack speed of Atlas because he could afford to. He could have just built a Warmogs. He could have built more magic resist if he wanted to.
Some
Disgusting.
other issues that we spent a fair amount of time talking about, but like as showcased in that final team fight, Okena had JJH in the Death Realm, who should not reasonably survive any 1v1 encounter with Mordekaiser, but not only did you end up in a spot where you don't really do a whole lot of damage, for not doing a whole lot of damage, you're not particularly tanky either on that build. Ends up getting solo killed out by Brand in Cyber Brazil. So back to the drawing board for Return of the Middle Sticks in Game 2. We'll have to see what they come up with.
Yeah. We go game 2. We'll be right back. I'm gonna try to get it set up, and then I gotta... Oh, they're just ready for us, jeez. And Vandrel's the homie who left you a spot, and me a spot.
Huge. My favorite part about our stream production in particular is that we'll like segue out as if we're going to break, because that's what we do on like every other stream that isn't exactly Return of the Middle Sticks. But on Return of the Middle Sticks, we just don't mute our mics or anything, which
Well,
we don't.
It's more like
Don't OBS out to overlay.
This delineates us talking. Well, I go out to the crow, right? So that
No,
I can
yeah,
swap
we go to
screens.
the but we don't like change OBS scenes to have our mics still work for us in Discord and then not bleed through
Yeah.
the stream. We're just here talking, vibing out.
I mean, mostly it just delineates like this is an end to our official discussion about the game. We're gonna talk shit for the next couple of minutes while we set up the next one.
Exactly.
Because I could do the high production value. The
Oh yeah,
moderate
massive
production value
effort.
required.
Toss it in.
Yep. But like, does that really add anything to this amateur esports stream that you're watching on Return or Middle Sticks GG? I don't think so. Like,
Right, like if we weren't going to, if we were gonna talk shit like we would normally talk shit in between actual like official broadcast, the only reason that we wouldn't want it on stream is if we wanted to remain like particularly impartial or not hurt anyone's feelings or not seem as unprofessional as this actually is, because that's not our purpose here. That's not what we're doing.
yeah, no. If I were, gunning for my proving grounds casting spot,
yeah.
No, we'd be much more serious. But I don't give a shit about all that. I'm here to entertain you guys. So, honestly, sometimes this banter gets more people talking in the chat than the games do. So.
Also true.
Which is what I like to see. That's my little, nugget of serotonin is seeing you guys bantering in chat about something stupid that I said. Or when people type lol to my jokes. Oh my god. Such a serotonin.
No, that's...
Because most of the time it's just like, man, did that joke land at all? My co-caster can't react to it because he's trying to make another point. But I thought it was very funny. They're into draft for game 2. I'm going to eat part of my salad while this is going on. So I'm going to let you talk, and then while you have food, I can talk.
Let's go.
Okay.
Bet. I have to press the button. Give me the draft. I just sat back down. Okay. So, CEG has swapped to blue side, which means RotM Dread, like me, favors red side in comp games. We haven't given up a single ban. We're just... Wait, is this... It is. It's the exact same draft that we just had, except CEG actually first picks the Sivir, which feels appropriate. That also feels kind of... I mean... Yeah, it's kind of appropriate. Just because it's Gid, it's appropriate. We've got Vi for Return of the Middle Six Dread. We'll see what it's getting paired up with. Jhin. Love Jhin. Not particularly amazing at dealing with Mundo, so I don't see any reason why Conduit esports can't just run back their draft from last game, which they might continue doing. Also not great at dealing with that character. That could be top, that could not be top. So a little bit of flex there from CEG. Also, fish. Frog? Frogfish. Fish frog. Locked in is what he is, and we're waiting on one more champion from them.
I already don't want to be Vi against this team comp.
Yeah. I don't want to be Jhin against this team comp either. I feel like we're drafting comfort for Dread when that comfort is unfortunately playing into exactly what CEG wanted to do last game and probably wants to continue doing this game. We're getting a Mumu.
Oh my god.
So the number of champions that Jhin is allowed to kill in this game has not increased as the draft continues. We really need like some tank shred out of mid here before it gets blocked off, because there isn't a lot of tank shred you can draft out of mid. But we're likely to see a support here in answer, just to round out the bot lane setup, and I don't know about that either, necessarily. My favorite champion in the entire game, rest assured, is still Rakan, but in this draft, interesting choice. Okay, we're removing Mundo, which feels like an appropriate and measured response, especially given the rest of the tank situation for CEG. That does tip that Dread thinks this is Tahm Kench support, and likely a Mumu jungle, because it's not a Mumu support in that scenario either. There is a world in which we haven't actually seen CEG's support, because this could just be top jungle. No Vladimir. I have to assume that's targeted at somebody, because that doesn't feel like a...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's targeted at the top lane. Also no Wukong. So we will have to see new things from at least one member of CEG.
If they ban
Vigar,
Wukong, where do they think these champions are going?
They I think they're banning.
Top?
I think they're banning for the flex specifically, because like I mentioned, it could be Tom top Amumu support, we haven't seen jungle. It could be Tom top Amumu jungle, we haven't seen support. It could technically be Amumu jungle Tom support, and we haven't seen top lane. So we're missing a lot of info here, and that doesn't make it any more clear, but we do get another blue side pick to hopefully finally lock in some information. My bet goes Tom top Amumu support. Or Amumu jungle, we haven't seen support yet here.
I think it's Tom support for the Sivir just to eat her out of Vial. And
maybe
Amumu jungle, and you haven't seen top lane. But we'll find out here in 1 second precisely.
This is not helping.
Yeah.
This is not helping. Okay.
I don't think Lily is supported.
So I don't think Lily's support. I don't necessarily think Amumu's support, because you only do that with a couple of lanes. I think you're right. I think Tom is supporting. I don't actually know whether or not Sivir can spell shield Vial. Because I was a little confused as to why.
To Q.
Yeah, you're still in range to Q, but you don't get the CC off of it, so I was still a little bit confused as to why CEG went, or as to why Vi was the immediate answer into Sivir, and then I remembered it was Gid. We're getting Jax top. I don't feel like that's amazing into Lilia, but it does alright into Kench. If it's Kench, it's probably not Kench.
Notably, so Vi is meta. Vi is meta because Zeri is meta. And that champion can actually lock down and kill Zeri. One of the few. Vi isn't meta because Vi is like a super good pick. It's because of the utility of being able to kill Zeri exclusively. So, in absence of Zeri, I don't think it's a very good pick. But it is Gid, and Gid plays a lot of weird junglers, and Gid pops off on a lot of weird junglers. So we'll have to see how he performs on it, because Vi, definitely a comfort pick. I actually really like the Jax here. It gives RotM something that they didn't have prior to the Jax pick, which is a win condition.
Yeah, that is very true. Lane matchup be damned into Lilia, which honestly isn't that bad. It is more of a skill-based matchup. It's also just, it just really feels bad when you misorder your abilities, or you don't have Leap Strike up exactly when you need it, because Deer will just run circles around you. That being said, side laning Jax this game, very good, because one thing that you don't do is return on middle sticks into Amumu, Sivir, Corki is teamfight. Which kind of makes me wonder what the other 4 members of Return on Middle Sticks are doing, except clearing waves and applying some pressure. Because Okaina's put himself in a position where he really needs to have a lot of impact this game.
I mean, so you don't have a character that's particularly good at side laning on CEG? I think you get away with Veigar side laning in this game.
Yeah, I think
assuming
you can.
that he gets strong enough that he can one-shot Corki or Sivir. If he can do that, then all of a sudden you have a semi-viable 1-3-1 comp. Or you do the weird RotM Dread thing, and you send Gid to a side lane, and you just have your 3 be Veigar with your bot lane. And that kind of makes sense. Like, Vi also doesn't get matched particularly well by anyone on the enemy team.
Yeah, and the other thing that RotM does have going for them is a much better and a much easier way of picking enemy champions this game. Rakan, very good at picking, very good at roaming with Vi. Cage, fantastic ability. Jhin gets to add 1.75, or is 1.75, right? Seconds of CC to any other CC within like a zip code radius. Very fun character. Love it. So you do get to do that, but you probably only get to do it to like Corki Lilia. Assuming Old Man Genetics hits a really nice spell shield, or at least saves his spell shield for when he needs it. Because he's almost always going to be shadowed by Kench.
Yeah, there's always that as well, where you have Kench Devour at any point to call in.
Yeah. Now this is less optimized support Kench Devour, so you don't get it until 6. You are expending an ultimate to, save people with it. So.
Still
Oh man,
usually, but...
Kench used to really be something, man. He could eat people on a 14-second CD. That was legal.
And people didn't think that was OP for a while.
Yeah, until just until about the Senna Tom Kench supremacy lane.
Oh.
People were like, "Oh, this is fine."
I just inted. My bad. All right. I was like, oh god, they're ready to go into game. There's still a spectator delay. Damn.
Oh yeah.
Also, so we picked up Wendy's for dinner. I got the, my god, my white person is showing right now. So I got the chicken Caesar salad. I got the spicy chicken with it, and it is quite spicy tonight. And I'm struggling just a tiny bit with it. I've been doing better with my spice. I can like, I'll go to the Thai restaurant that we go to, and I've been getting medium, right? That's pretty good for me.
No, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, this is just a little spicy tonight. It's not quite as spicy as McDonald's Sprite, but it's right there,
Oh, I'm out here on that water too spicy, switch to milk lifestyle. So I get you. I'm there. I see it.
I was very much like that until like slightly after college, because my parents didn't eat a lot of spicy food, and then in college I just couldn't handle it the couple of times that I had access to it, which wasn't often because I was broke as shit. But yeah, once I had trace amounts of money to go and spend on food, trying a little bit more, getting a little bit better at it. But boy, I see people do hot pepper challenges, and I can't even imagine. It's just not in my wheelhouse, I guess.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who, like, part of the things that I spent money on after college was blood allergy tests to figure out why all of the things that I ate in college didn't work for me. And it turns out I'm just allergic to like 80% of the human diet.
Oh jeez.
It's actually like, I don't do spice because I don't like it, not because I don't like it, but more because usually the things that you get spice in, unless it's just concentrated capsaicin, includes one or many of the things that I'm not allowed to eat.
I saw a post today. This guy was like, man, I'm eating natural honey for the first time. I'll let you know how it is. And he's like, does it taste like the bees are all stinging you while you eat it? Is it to anyone else? They're like, no, it's not like that. He's like, it's really good, but I just feel like I'm getting stung. And they're like, you're allergic to it, man.
Oh no.
Stop eating it.
Stop eating it. No, it's burning your mouth because you're allergic. Are you sure? Yes. Yeah, I both curse that fact and feel like I lucked out a little bit, because my version of I'm allergic to this food is not it'll kill me, it's I'm going to break out in like rashes and skin conditions. So most of the stuff that I really like eating that I'm not supposed to, I can just eat anyway and then be annoyed for like a day or two.
That doesn't sound particularly fun to me. Okena has Ignite.
He's not a huge fan of the teleport summoner spell.
He is the top laner that I hated playing against personally when I played top lane.
Like him specifically, or the archetype that doesn't take TP?
The archetype
of
games? No take TP in comp game, me kill you, me zerg, me no scout, no pivot, no rush.
You're wow, you just jumped from a StarCraft reference directly to TFT, which, you know, I don't hate.
This just shows the games that I have played most, honestly.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
you know,
I really
sometimes.
should spend some amount of time looking at the mid-set update for TFT because I'm still hard stuck Plat 3, and that isn't changing in the next like 12 days. So
Oh, I have been. I put in enough games to climb up to gold finally, and then ever since I hit gold, I have gone fourth, 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 and fourth. So we're
that's,
really
I mean,
doing it,
you
which is
are,
like the worst because you're just kind of killing your elo at the same time
uh,
as not getting any LP.
yeah, your MMR is going downhill. However, you are wildly consistent. So you've got that going for you.
Yeah, so I have climbed from gold 4 to gold 3 in 5 games, but unfortunately, not going very fast. So I don't think I'll hit platinum. Which is usually my goal for TFT. I don't put a whole lot of time into it, but enough to usually hit platinum.
Until I went back to playing MMOs during work,
Oh no,
I
Atlas is DC'd right now.
played a lot of. Oh no, that's not fun.
Um, and Old Man
I'm a
Genetics is just not gonna let him live that down.
I'm a little confused. Yeah,
So I
like,
mean,
is it considered a fight?
yeah, it's a fight because he's fighting him. So you can't pause. Like that was a correct application of the rules by Return of the Middle Sticks and just kind of bad sportsmanship by CEG, but also it's a playoff series and like I don't know, man.
Kinda cringe.
Kind of cringe, but like understandably like I don't know. Part of me's like that's the competitive spirit. They're right back into it apparently. Hopefully it doesn't happen again for Atlas because that's not exactly how you want to see the playoff series flip.
Well, it's also like, if you're talking about mental being the most important thing in a best of 5, that's a really tilting experience,
Hmm.
especially when you were one of the few players in the last game who got to like interact with the enemy team in any meaningful way. That being said, the rest of these lanes are behaving as normal. Um, I get really tired of seeing Corki in mid, but I have to. The analyst part of me has no choice but to praise everything about the champion, and obviously there are reasons why it's been, a staple mid laner ever since like what, season 3 or
I like
something
this
like
game
that.
plan though from Rod. I'm going for the gank up in top lane. Okina flashes forward, looking for it, and the jump strike has enough. Does he live? He does live through the tower shot. Yes, I was questioning because I saw the kill, and then I had the flashback to Atlas dying in the bottom lane, and it's all okay. I like the game plan though from getting Okina trying to get the Jax ahead, as we discussed. It's kind of just the win condition for ROTM.
Yeah, it's definitely one of them. Like, I think it's a core part of a overall win condition. It isn't just Jax 1v9s the entire game, but it's more Jax needs enough agency to have side lane impact
Yeah.
this game. Without that, I think the rest of the game plan pretty much falls apart.
Yeah, so 1-0 for Okina. It doesn't have the summoner spells anymore to get really aggressive, but has his Sheen item, so he's pretty strong right now.
Yeah,
Vandal
one
and Old Man
nice thing
Genetics
about,
just
oh,
not
that's
giving
nice.
any breathing room. Yeah, good knock-up from Vandal. Look at the stun on to Smitty. He's still got his flash away. One more auto. Atlas throws the fourth shot in. It just doesn't really matter. And Old Man Genetics has his second kill of the game.
Yeah, that sucks. If you've already used your E, you're not really allowed to W back in like that as Rakan. So that's a little unfortunate. It's one of those scenarios in which you lock yourself in place with the W long enough that if you miss it, you can't even really flash, as evidenced by the fact that Smitty used it and still died.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna go for the immediate 5-minute dragon. So start that
Which is
dragon stacking win con.
kind of weird because not only is it a cloud, and does a fair amount of damage, but dragon just takes way longer than it used to. Like it doesn't when you have 3 people on it, but you're pretty much sacrificing a wave off of Sivir for this.
Yeah, we'll see about that opportunity cost. Meanwhile, Okena getting the trade onto DXBS. And that's it. Alright.
Gid gets a nice recall out of that. Probably wants his flashback, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah. I think Michael Scott said that, if I remember correctly.
All credit out to Grain Wetski. I just now remembered that you're like a huge hockey fan. I hope I didn't cross a line there.
No, not at all. No, still the best summoner name in League of Legends was Swain Gretzky for a while. Ganking bottom lane, knock up onto Vandal, trying to get Atlas back in the game. They'll get the root onto him. I don't think that they can get too much more. Smitty just taking a requisite amount of damage for going a little too aggressive there. Got the flash out of Tom Kench, though, for their trouble, and maybe a little bit more trouble than they're wanting. Gid gets exhausted, and Vandal does take quite a bit of damage in return. Gid just pops him before he's able to pop the gray health. Now dancing around, Gid very low. Black-Eyed, actually, Old Man Genetics picks up that kill, but the flash fourth shot from Atlas does finish off the Sivir, and now it's Black-Eyed Peas versus the bottom lane of Return of the Middle Sticks. He gets the bandage toss, although that fourth shot into the minion makes this much harder than it needs to be.
No.
It's a double kill for Black-Eyed Peas with the tantrum.
Oh, Atlas on suicide watch. That is so unfortunate. Because I'm pretty sure after that Q, he actually had enough there, the missing health bonus off of the fourth shot.
If not, he gets him low enough that the next one that he did get off would have killed, probably.
Almost certainly.
Yeah. So Mumu has 2 kills, and that's a life that we live in right now. It's 5-3 right now in favor of CEG. They have all the momentum right now in the series, and ROTM feels like they need to find a foothold in this game just a little bit. You do have Okena ahead. He's trading pretty well. But the way bot lane has gone is probably shaping the way that they're feeling right now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if you look at it in a vacuum, like we can, this is not at all an unwinnable position. Far from it. Your top side's doing fine. You're keeping up in CS with Corki in mid, which is kind of impressive in and of itself. And Gid has had the opportunity to impact the map early. Alternatively, you are about 20 CS and 2 kills behind in bot lane on your ADC, which feels bad.
Yeah, he's stacking traps to try to farm right now, is the state of the game that we're in. Very fun. League of Legends is an action RPG.
I mean, yeah, that feels like about how it goes.
The knockup lands onto Atlas out of that one. I thought that he had sidestepped forward enough, but a lot of damage coming through, and the level 6s are going to be enough for Old Man Genetics to pick up another kill. Meanwhile, Okena trying to 1v2. Gets DXBS very low, but he cannot deal with Black-Eyed Peas. Has the jump strike away, but gets smited, and he'll eventually die to the Amumu.
And Mumu now at 3-0-1, kind of honestly does a pretty terrifying amount of damage just off of base, and he has Conqueror, and is gonna have his Mythic here in a second. That's should theoretically be a dead deer, but no smite for Gid, and now oh no. You
Yeah,
can't
he didn't
stay there.
actually hit the damage with the Q, and now the bowling ball picks up another kill, and it's very quickly deteriorating for Dread.
Yeah, and like in a vacuum, like I've said, most of these are not situations you can't recover from, but it's more that we're seeing the mental effect of all of these plays kind of cascade upon themselves, where you start feeling like you have to get something. Surely not all of these things can go against us. And you start forcing and you lose more.
Yep, Smitty on the roam toward mid lane, still not level 6 yet on the Rakan. Dragon has been up for about a minute. We haven't really seen that focus on it. First package heads toward mid lane to just get a chunk of damage onto Aeropox. They're trying to make sure that he can't come away from this game unscathed, but it looks like he'll successfully navigate that little excursion by CEG.
Yeah, good on Smitty for recognizing the state of bot lane and starting to move around the map a little bit more. Definitely what he should be up to on Rakan at this point. And the second dragon should go the way of CEG without contest, and Gid already on the Rift Herald as a response.
Yeah, like getting
Seems
something
appropriate.
back. It'd be good to see if he can get maybe a couple plates onto Okana would be good. Maybe onto Aeropox. But you gotta get something back, and that's a little unfortunate. Just the edge of the bandage toss catches Aeropox, and JJH gets his first kill participation of the game.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. You can't really be there if you don't land the cage onto Black Eyed Peas. You kind of need to make sure he's actually CC'd. Otherwise, he's just going to do that to you whenever it drops.
Dive potentially here. Smitty hits his ult. Ooh, that just didn't quite connect there from Black Eyed Peas. No one has taken tower aggro yet, and that's about as clean as you like from Old Man Genetics. Picks up his 5th kill. CEG with a good dive on bottom lane. Atlas was able to escape, but the lead just keeps extending for the Sivir. Ulting Lullaby used by DXBS. He can pop that one.
Yeah, just mostly as disengage. I feel like if he had his, Oh.
Gid. Assault and Battery again.
He's got the smite this time.
Yeah.
There it is. So still eking out some advantages on the top side of the rift. Oh, this is sad.
Yeah, this is very sad for Aeropox, just getting chased down by Black Eyed Peas, and now Old Man Genetics and Vanderbilt are able to join. Curtain Call opened up, but I don't think that he's quite got enough damage to do anything about it. They'll get a tower up on the top side, at least something back positive for ROTM, while their bot lane gets herded back underneath their tier 2, with their tier 1 still distressingly alive. We'll put it that way. There it goes. That took 3 hours, which is kind of surprising, but...
It probably feels a little bit bad for CEG that they lost first tower with bot lane being that low and then being pushed up into the jungle.
Smitty? Alright.
Nice.
Well, no matter what,
Some
he'll always
life
have
left
that
in
blue buff.
RotM.
Yeah.
They're not giving everything away. I am a little sad to see the boot selection from Smitty. Ionian, notably a much better option. Actually, in this game, I'd probably be still on a Merc Treads angle, but definitely not mobilities. Your team is not quite ahead enough to take advantage of your roam potential.
Sometimes you gotta go fast, though.
Yeah, that is fair. True. And if you were looking for like a lot of engages and a lot of force with follow-up, I could see it in the mid game, but definitely want that cooldown reduction or extra resistance over movement speed. I'm a hypocrite. I did say movement speed is the most powerful statistic in the game.
Yeah,
So.
but it's movement speed sometimes when you're not fighting, so...
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
not
they're the best
flat
boots in the
movement speed,
game,
it's not
and
raw
sometimes they're
movement
not.
speed.
You know. So therefore, Swifties are the best.
Factual statement. And one of the cheaper ones as well. Okaina's got a... Oh, he's fine, actually. They didn't even... Oh, no. Well, maybe they get Kench.
That timing on the spell shield was actually just disgusting from Old Man Genetics. He was able to spell shield both the quickening and the application of the baby cage. So
It was very impressive. He has been playing a particularly nice Sivir in the past 2 games, actually, in total. So, I'm not...
give me a second. You're taking over the cast for a second. I'm muting.
Oh, sold. I'm not convinced that I'm going to. Fine. It's whatever. What were we banning over? So you've gotta assume that Dread is more scared of Trundle Belveth Pike than they are of Sivir. And maybe that fear is a little bit misplaced. But I think it's less that you're scared of Sivir than you are... Sivir is not a tool that you want to be giving up to your opponents on this patch. Something like that. Non-stop aggression, and this particular exact trade progression at the top side, but I'm not positive that Okaina continues winning this. Almost fully stacked movement speed, and yeah, there's the flash forward. It's going to be DXBS taking him down almost assuredly here in a second. Yeah, you can't get another jump off quite in time. They're winning on all sides of the map, so I mean, you've got the smite, but I don't think you can quite... Well, maybe you can. E? Nope. CEG picking up pretty much everything they want across the whole map. Package into mid lane, and Atlas has nowhere to go. He's out of here. JJH picks up another kill, and they're looking at mid lane tower now. I'm not entirely positive how they purport to contest this. Maybe you just ulti that? Nope. They do expend Tahm Kench Devour, so they'll have to back off for now without that layer of extra security. Looks like they might be backing into some gold here. Yeah, 1500 on Old Man Genetics, as well as another clean 1300 on Black Eyed Peas, so some more power coming into their inventories. And Okaina has already fully committed to the side lane experience. Hullbreaker up first before Mythic, which I don't hate, but I feel like Mythic is something on Jax that you really kind of want to have sooner rather than later. I'm not entirely convinced by that. Uropox is getting the Corki experience. Well, there's the power of Hullbreaker. And DXBS getting a little bit baited by having Black Eyed Peas that close and unable to assist, but I don't think Okaina is winning this one. Not 1v3. A notable effort. Gets some damage down. Possibly some visions of what could happen in the future if Jax continues to pick up farm and be an issue. That is a conversation that we haven't quite yet had in the analysis portion. Does Return of the Middle Six get outscaled this game? I mean, they've got Corki, but it's Jax Vigar. I think, unfortunately, the scaling is still on the side of the comp for CEG. Jax Vigar doesn't really have a lot of answers to Corki, Sivir, Lilia. Especially when you can give Lilia the speed buff from On the Hunt. Spooky. Very spooky. Something just happened there. I missed a point. Dragon just happened there. Did it? No, it didn't. That looks very interactive. Signs of Life from Return of the Middle Stick. They're able to take down Black Eyed Peas. They forced the flash out of JJH and not losing a single member. What can they get off of this? Not a ton, but they'll take the gold and the summoner spell, which is pretty nice. Top has flip-flopped into bot with dragon spawning up here, which favors DXBS because he's got TP. Okena not going to worry about it too much, as his Hullbreaker will let him tear some towers down if Baron does become a target. A little early to be thinking about such things. And CS discrepancy in bot plus the kill advantage means a full item lead for Old Man Genetics over Atlas, and that does not feel good, especially when it's so difficult for Jhin to have a lot of game impact in this one anyway. And I don't even know who you're supposed to be targeting, really. Corki, I suppose. They are going to look for an early Baron as a 3-man, which, I mean, when your Amumu's this far ahead, I suppose, you know, why not? You've got a lot of damage. Baron does not have a lot of health. This would be a heck of a steal, and it's not going to happen. Smitty looking for it. He's going to expend his flash and die anyway, and I think Gid's dead as well. It's a nice flash, and Q does not get him over the wall. Lilting Lullaby is going to stop him in place for that. Okena doing what Hullbreaker does. He's on the bot tower. He's picked up an objective bounty, which, I mean, it seems appropriate given the state of the game. 3 dragons plus a 7k gold lead. 9k gold. We'll call it 8. It's pretty close to 8. Oof. Aeropox killed under his tower. Smitty's ult, really nice knockup. They're gonna get one back. Not quite. Almost one back before the Devour came in. That's just everything. This has been a very dominant display from CEG. They're gonna take the gates back out. Not gonna go for everything here with their Baron buff, as they do have Okena on his way back from recall.
I'm back. Sorry, thank you. I
Not a
really
problem.
appreciate it. Hopefully you all enjoyed the Oath podcast.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
Can't tell you that I'm doing a particularly great job.
They're
They're gonna end themselves with an Aether Soul here, and well, there were some developments while you were gone. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch. You were just muted, or you were actually away from computer, but
I saw a lot of folks dying, mostly on the red team.
lots of death, yeah.
And
quite a
Okena
bit.
bought a Hullbreaker first item, and then a Hull broke, and then now he's got Trinity Force.
Mm-hmm. That's a fairly good summation, actually. Not a lot, no notes, no edits.
This is the first time I've seen the Monster Tamer Vagar skin in game. It's definitely a skin that they put in the game, for sure.
It just looks like Vex to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Can you
So-
split push as Jax with 2 items against a Hextech Soul Lilia? That's a question that we're about to find out the answer to.
My initial guess would be no. And I think I'm right.
Yeah.
My larger question would be, can you win this game as Return of the Middlesticks down 11k gold and Hextech Soul?
No. Looks
And
like
I think
no
the answer is
immediately.
also no.
Good engage by CEG. They just don't really have to care about the turrets in any regard right now, and they'll just power their way on through. So, with no Atlas, no Aeropox, no Smitty for the next 20 seconds, the base will die. They're even going to let... Oh, he was going to let Okena recall, but decided against that, I guess. So, Gid, with his last-ditch effort, not quite able to finish off Old Man Genetics. And the Nexus dies for game number 2. Match point for CEG.
Not a lot to say about this. I think a Sivir ban might be warranted over Yeah, I mean, take your pick. Probably Trundle or Belveth if you're really that scared of Pike, but it's back to drawing board 2x for Return of the Middle Sticks up against the wall on match point.
Yep, this is the last punch you get to throw, potentially, if you're Return to the Middle Sticks, and we'll see what they've got left for game number 3. I will briefly be right back after I join this lobby, but hopefully no more significant interruptions. But I'll be right back.
We're not quite drafting yet, which is the only reason I'm still quiet. I will return to my podcast duties as soon as I see a ban come through. Hopefully one that starts with S and ends with ever. Hey, now we're getting bans.
Alright, I'm back, it looks like.
Just in time.
And there we go. Draft for game number 3 started. CEG back on the blue side. Our team wants to stay on red, and so far,
Stay on
maybe
downs.
dropping the pike. This needs to be Sivir. Please, man, Sivir. There we go. We did it.
We did it, Reddit. Okay, the first draft adaptation and first rotation bans has come through. What does CEG respond with? Feels like probably a Wukong angle if they're sticking to the script. They could go completely off, however. They're gonna take their time deciding.
It's
MF?
Seems
Um,
reasonable.
Yeah, so you probably want to take away a Mumu here. I don't feel like you let Curse of the Sad Bullet time through when you're 2-0 facing down the proverbial, or in this case literal, barrel of 3-0.
Couple of guns, even.
Couple of hundred of them. That feels
Vice
fair.
is fine. Yeah.
Vi pretty good at fixing that problem. I don't think it's good enough to really ignore the Amumu takeaway, because I know Gid plays it, but maybe you just give him what he wants. I feel like that's... Oh, you're still taking it. I'm a prophet. I love it here.
Alright,
So,
presumably Smitty on the Amumu then.
yeah, you're 100% getting Amumu support this game.
I don't think 100%. I think there's a world where Vitop exists. I don't know that it's this one, but there is a world out there.
It's a world. In fact, if it was my top laner, Lil Saint, playing this game, I think it's 100% Vitop. There is no question. Soraka. Actually, really good answer into Vi, unfortunately. You can just silence the charged up Q as it's charging, and you really don't get to play the game anymore after that, so...
Yeah. Where does CG
Also just a
wanna
really
go
good
now?
character. So.
Probably jungle here, you would imagine.
That would be my guess. Safe bet.
Yep, there we go.
Yep, that's some
the
pretty
pop.
good answers there from CEG. I love that character. Very happy to see it in this game. Not particularly excited for what it can do into Return of the Middle Sixes draft here, but we'll have to see if it is as big of a problem as it could be. That's a decent answer to that. So we are pretty much locked in now. It is a Mumu support, Vi jungle, Olaf top. I don't think there's any world in which, on this squad specifically, we run Olaf jungle and Vi top.
Yeah. Apparently Golden Guardians took CLG to Silver Scrapes.
Do.
That's a thing that happened.
Do. Golden Guardians will always be one of my favorite teams, but I just wish it was not as painful to root for them. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they're pinching the ADC pool, which makes a lot of sense given that this is the first time ADC for RotM has dropped to second rotation. It's going to be Atlas Jinx.
Imagine banning so many champions and the star of the hit character, or the character star of the hit show Arcane is still available.
Yeah, kind of impressive, really. We're also getting No Mundo, No Lilia, so this feels like Anivia plus whatever new out of top lane that we're getting for DXBS.
Yeah, and gets a pit, like you now fully see the team comp pretty much. Like mid lane doesn't really throw that many wrinkles into your top lane strategy, so what do you want to play against?
Yeah, there's
Vi?
There's no flexes here, pretty much. We're not expecting to see Poppy top when it can match up into Vi jungle, so it's almost definitely going jungle. That's not real, surely. Although they are up 2-0, it could be real. It doesn't have that bad of a matchup this game. It's Ornn. And just with that, all of my hopes and dreams were dashed.
Yeah.
By the cold breath attack of the Forge God.
We could get some funny ornaments though. So
We
Gotta hope
will
for that.
almost certainly get some funny ornaments this game, which, yeah, I can live with that.
I don't think they're all funny necessarily, but there could be some.
Most
funny
of them are pretty funny, man.
ones. All right, we do get the R5 mid lane Zyra from Aeropox. So
It is a specialty.
well, what are your gut reactions to this? Because I have two, right? I think I lost both potentially. Well, now we might get the Maris podcast in exchange for the Oath podcast that we had earlier. Initial reactions, of course, are ROTM wins the draft because they got 2 stars of the hit show Arcane, but CEG won draft because they got 2 of the 3 Failure Gods. So, 4? Are there 4 now? I can't keep track. They keep adding new ones. Is this how it feels to be polytheistic? It's difficult. So I left him during the game, so he got to do play-by-play, but he left me during draft, so I have to like actually just fill time with nonsense. What's entertaining going on in my life? That I can say on a podcast format. I guess that's another qualifier. Because boy, would I tell you all about the nonsense that's happening at work, but like, can't do that. Oh,
It's
CLG won.
It's not nonsense, it's analysis.
Oh.
So it's annoying. I could actually hear all of that, but I was out of range of my mic, apparently. Like, my headset was still in range. I could hear, but I couldn't speak. And the headset is like, it's all one unit. It's attached to the yeah. And anyway, my gut reactions are probably in line with your gut reactions. Being we have like probably the least one-sided draft we've had so far this series.
Yeah.
I think mostly because Conduit Esports Ghost seems to have kind of switched up their entire playbook with Sivir off of the table. Like, none of these characters are even archetypally the same as the characters we were running in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, RotM is back to basically peak comfort to an extent. Definitely mid jungle.
Yeah, definitely
As
mid jungle.
the Zyra mid jungle, as the Zyra mid is basically pioneered by Arrow at this point.
And Okaina's had a couple of pop-off games on Olaf. I guess the biggest question mark in the draft is the Jinx Amumu bottom lane, which is just a fine bottom lane, honestly. Like, there's nothing offensive about it. There's nothing, like, super synergistic great about it either, but, like, it's fine.
No, yeah,
well.
like, you felt pretty much forced to take the Amumu, and in a scenario where you're not tossing it into jungle, it feels like it's totally fine as a support for Jinx specifically. Like, maybe you wanted something different, but then you wouldn't have the Vi answer to Misfortune. Notably, the Poppy W only stops Vi Q. It will not stop Vi ult onto bullet time, so get that going for you. My analysis analyst brain is not analyzing, so for the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds, please enjoy random thoughts that pop into my brain as I attempt to fill time waiting for Game 3 of this so far, surprisingly one-sided series. I actually did expect this to be a lot closer so far.
Yeah. Tired, sleepy even.
Sleepy even.
We're right there. Yeah, some weeks you hit Friday and you're like rejuvenated because it's weekend time, and then other times you hit it and you're just dead. This is dead week. We do not feel. We're definitely tired, sleepy even.
Sleepy even. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't even get like tomorrow is not the start of my weekend type of weekend problems. So that's where we're at for me. I get to wake up and do tomorrow what I did today.
I was looking back through the RotM family chat for content, and notably, there really isn't a whole lot currently. For anyone who isn't as enlightened as maybe you should be and is not in RotM family chat, the highlight of today was Senor X-Cray saying, "Take it off and choke me, daddy," and I'm not going to provide context for that.
I mean, why would you?
It's just normal Mickey behaviors, anyway.
Standard. Expected even.
Any reverse brooms out? What does a reverse... Is that a vacuum? Is that... What would quantify a reverse broom? Right, I understand it's for the reverse sweep, but like, do you just have the bristles on the top? That doesn't seem particularly useful. Is it just a vacuum cleaner? Is that a reverse broom? Does it put the dust back out? Is it... It's a broom, but you sweep backward. Oh. I was missing that nuance. Instead of back and forth, you go forth and back. Yeah. Lexus just has the knowledge of the world, honestly.
One day, I wish to be a tenth as in tune with physics as this man.
Yeah, we all really just aspire to be the Cartman. Not even saying that sarcastically. I just am tired, so it sounded sarcastic.
Our guy go burr.
It takes a lot of advanced math to play Trundle. We're into game number 3. CEG on the blue side looking to close out and sweep. Honestly, just sweep the entire RTM organization 5-0, if we're being completely honest. You got him once in the regular season. How'd you do that? What advice can you give to
I
Dread
played
to get that
Yasuo.
game win? Okay, play Yasuo.
Well, play Yasuo the way I play Yasuo. I'm pretty sure I got hard carried that series, actually. Let me go check the...
Oh, so you only got the game win.
Check the VOD.
You lost the series, but you got the game win.
Oh, yeah. Apparently in this particular scenario, the correct answer is play Yasuo, but have old man genetics go mid and give them back their old ADC. And have him play Zillion. Then you win.
Oh. Alright, so maybe this is the point about how we talk about how the ADC change completely rejuvenated Conduit esports Ghost. And
yeah, they were having so many problems before. So interestingly enough, I think this might just be a sub for this series because when we played them last week, it was still Old Man Genetics mid, BAM ADC. So
oh yeah, Bam. I remember that name. Alright. Both junglers are starting bottom side, which means they were probably headed up to the Olaf lane. Which makes a fair bit of sense if you have the Olaf. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense unless you're like hard counter ganking, I guess. Little trades in the bottom lane that favors Atlas and Smitty just a little bit until that That Star Call hit. And now this is very annoying. What
Yeah,
build do you think Old Man Genetics will go for? Are we going to see Eclipse or Leandries? It should be Eclipse.
I don't feel like it's... I think it's Eclipse.
I think Eclipse is the correct choice, but...
I think it's definitely Eclipse. I think that Smitty and Atlas need to go for Soraka in this lane. I feel like any lane that includes Soraka that you don't go for Soraka in is an immediate int.
Yeah, Vandal has hit his Star Calls this far, which makes it slightly more difficult to play. Laser, he has your shoe. Okay.
Open the shoe. Stop having it be closed.
Kale has gotten into... for some reason, he didn't previously do this. It's just
Every puppy has a shoe phase.
It's just developed within the last week, but he will fetch shoes individually off of our shoe rack. He doesn't like chew at them, he just fetches them and then brings them over and then lays on them.
It's friend shaped. The shoes are all shaped like friend.
And I don't know if that's just like a psychology, like, oh, they use the shoes when they want to go outside. I want to go outside, so I get them the shoes. Or if it's they smell nice because they smell like feet, which, you know, dogs are about. I'm not, personally. But have to clarify before I get tagged as a foot fetishist.
It's 2022. That does seem to happen a lot more commonly, unfortunately.
I feel like they were all there. It was just like really frowned upon, and now somehow they crawled out of holes and are fine. And
oh no, more
reasonable members of
specifically, like
society.
getting tagged as one is more
Yeah.
common. I don't think the actual number of fetishists has increased or decreased.
There's wiki feet now. I do know about the existence of that.
That is unfortunately true. I think that's egg. It's not quite egg.
Not quite egg. Old Man Genetics is just walking on forward. Smitty has to retreat from the bush because Atlas has approximately a health. And can't quite engage into Vandal and Old Man
He is
Genetics.
about as much health as JJH does. This Poppy's been everywhere, by the way.
Yeah, Poppy's been getting
And
a
by
lot
everywhere,
of work
I mean
done.
he went from top to mid, pretty much. It took Crab at one point in time in between those two, so an entirely reasonable path. It's just unfortunately poor timing for both top and mid. So a
Oh, the
summoner
flash
spell
forward.
each.
He knows that he's got eggs,
That's
so he can
sad.
afford to be aggressive. They use the wall pin combo, and they'll pick up first blood on Aeropox.
I totally forgot about the wall pin combo. We're playing Poppy and Nivea. It's still Mimi. Let's go. And by Mimi, I mean it's actually just really, really good. I've played it before. It's fun. On both sides, I got to beat a Poppy once and the Nivea once, but it's not so fun for Arrow.
Yeah. Notably, did get the egg, so not a complete waste, I guess, as long as you can take advantage of that cooldown. Vandal roams up and is going to turn this into a 2v3. Aeropox has to walk around the wall, but gets hit by the Flash Frost. That's a lot of damage from JJH, but he doesn't have the most mana. Gid is just trying to scrap this one out, but he does not win those. And Vandal picks up the kill on Soraka. Good grasping root from Aeropox to try to disengage, but Black Eyed Peas is still not deterred as he flashes forward. Blast Cone? Buckler? Plant? Nothing really happening there.
Nope, just a use of Flash for a Dark Harvest proc. Honestly, I'd do that. That seems fairly worth it to me.
He's
so
got
there's a
Dark
developing...
Harvest?
Yeah, no, it's Dark Harvest Poppy Jungle.
Okay.
There's a developing, somewhat worrying trend here from Return of the Middle Sticks where we don't prioritize killing Soraka, and then we don't get to kill anybody because we're not prioritizing killing Soraka. There's only been a couple of instances of it so far, but something to keep track of.
Yeah, and
because you don't get to not kill Soraka in this game. Like, that is a prerequisite to doing anything, actually.
And something worrying for Aeropox. So he died on the gank mid lane, teleported back, got pushed back again. Has now dropped 16 CS in exchange for essentially nothing, and is very far behind. Gank from Gid gets both flashes actually out of the bottom lane. So,
which is funny because he didn't even participate in that.
Yeah.
Smitty just actually hit a really nice bandage toss, and even though he's not 6, they have to respect it.
The wall pin
That's a
immediately.
lot of
Black Eyed
fun
Peas is
damage.
here. That's so much damage from Black Eyed Peas as he's got his Sheen completed. They're turning on to Vandal. They focus the Soraka finally, and Smitty picks up the first kill of the game for RotM. But Old Man Genetics turns that one back. Do they have the damage to take down Black Eyed Peas? They do not just yet. So 3-1 in favor of CEG, but the 1-for-1 bottom lane feels a little okay for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, you're pretty okay with that because you do get to shove into tower and then roam mid, it looks like. We're looking for eggless, flashless JJH. No, we're just looking for Infernal Dragon, which does not feel like a great idea because that
Oh
happens to
my
you.
god. Kid just had to tank the whole
You
bullet time.
gotta smite something.
Did he smite that, or did... No, Black Eyed Peas smote it. It's 1-for-1 thus far. Grasping Roots. Aeropox is still level 5. He hasn't been able to go back to the minion wave for long enough to actually level up, but he'll pick up that kill and level up off of that, as you do
I think if
occasionally.
Kid does smite something there, he lives.
Yeah.
Ah.
Or at the very least, he makes it much more interesting. And potentially baits in another kill or two. As it is, it's still a 2-for-1 and very slightly in favor of ROTM in that particular river skirmish. Okena really wants to stick around, but this is just greedy at this point. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
book
he
it.
also has no mana, so he's gonna bait into another recall because DXBS doesn't have TP, and then he's gonna burn wave on tower. I don't hate that play. That's kind of nice because you actually saw him go back.
Yeah.
It is a little bit concerning that Smitty has picked up both of the kills. We're operating off of 003 Atlas, so assist gold not quite as good as kill gold, especially if you're Jinx.
In terms of current items, though, I actually like his position better than Old Man Genetics, but, I mean, he's probably sitting on, 1600, so...
Yeah, he gets to go back and purchase the funny lethality dagger. Dirker.
It has serrations in it, allegedly.
It do,
So you
allegedly.
can cut things. How do you rate Zyra versus Anivia mid lane? This doesn't seem like a particularly fun Zyra matchup.
It's not amazing, but it doesn't suck as much as some.
Smitty...
Anivia doesn't have a super free way of getting rid of plants. Those are always the worst lanes for Zyra to be in. It's kind of why she stopped being a good mid laner, is because there were too many characters who just insta-kill plants with spells.
Smitty gets cut off. That's a good stun by JJH, and Smitty's going to pay for that one. Black Eyed Peas picks up his second kill. Gid still wants it, potentially goes in. Oh, he gets the huge Grasping Roots. Atlas and Aeropox with enough AoE to pick up a double kill for the Zyra. They'll try to chase down JJH and Vandrel, but that could have gone much worse for ROTM. Instead, it's a 2-for-2.
Yeah, it definitely could have been much worse. I feel like we've kind of played out most of this interaction, and there's basically no way Okena loses this in the long term, but the trades don't look that way just because of how much damage Ornn does. If he keeps taking short trades, eventually he will force Okena out of the lane.
Yeah, but if you keep taking long trades, then Okena wins. So
yeah,
it's actually kind of an interesting matchup, especially in terms of Olaf matchups, which are traditionally very polar and not interesting.
Yeah, traditionally very one-sided, very cut and dry. You either win this matchup or you don't. This one actually has a little bit of depth to it, and the depth is not micro, it's actually macro. To an extent. Don't, like, horribly miss all of your abilities. Or you lose regardless. On both sides. Also, interestingly enough, First Strike Aeropox Zyra mid is 3-1, so a little bit scary. Will quickly be coming up on that, just another 150-ish gold, 200 gold before Leandries is finished. And this character just becomes a completely different character after Leandries, by the way.
Okena has to use Ragnarok up in the top lane, but DXBS still has access to the Hammerboy bouncy time, so have to keep an eye on that one.
Big funny Ornhorn hammer time.
I do wish Aeropox was able to hit the minions slightly more frequently. He's falling pretty rapidly behind in the CS department, and I don't foresee that getting a significant amount better because Anivia is the character Anivia in the video game.
The blue bird. Yeah. So one downside of being Aeropox and or Atlas and or Gid currently, but not Gid in like 2 items, is that Black Eyed Peas on Dark Harvest Poppy with 2 kills actually has a fair shake at one-shotting you at this point in the game, and does for about the next 3 or 4 minutes actually.
Trying to demonstrate onto Smitty here, but Gid is right over the wall. Aeropox picks up another kill. It's traded immediately back in the 1-for-1, but jungler for support tends to favor the team that loses the support, so RTM won't be super upset about that one. Okana is not Okana. The flash for the clap from DXBS picks up not exactly a solo kill because there was a Soraka ult involved, but almost a solo kill for DXBS.
For all intents and purposes, a solo kill. You walked into the wrong Anivia Q neighborhood.
Atlas? Alright. Alright.
Okay. I refuse to comment on that on principle.
I think by not commenting, we're also commenting, though. That's unfortunately the nuance to it. We're going to drop Rift Herald mid lane for CEG. Take down that turret. Unfortunately, 4 seconds after the plates had despawned, so you don't get the maximum value out of that one, but still get the first turret, and you charge into the second turret, so... And
like that 2-panel comic. I think philosophy is stupid and pointless, and then the stick figure gets the sash philosopher 2.0. He's like on nuts, because that is a philosophical stance that you hold.
I like that.
It's very nice. I'll find it for you. But effectively, you're not allowed to not be commenting for our purposes.
I was thinking of a very old League of Legends comic featuring Karthus and Blitzcrank, which is beep boop fuck the turret. Go get him, champ. That's...
That one went significantly better.
Yeah. That one
legitimate
okay
solo kill up in the top lane. But I knew it was gonna happen at some point. He waited until game 3 at 15 minutes to pull that out.
There haven't been a whole lot of opportunities, to be fair.
Yeah,
and I've been kind of sprinkling, like we had the soft launch earlier, but that one we went.
Yeah, I did notice that. I wasn't gonna say anything about that one, but this one was way more blatant.
JJH, the flash wall forward. Alice caught on top of whatever the fuck Anivia's ult is called, and they'll pick up another kill. It's 7-11. Oh, thank heaven. And that's where Okana's gonna go here in a second. That's a segue.
Well done. It's bussin'.
Smitty actually can't be hit.
He's can't
juking everything. All right, got the egg.
He does get the egg. Big ups to him.
Teleport from Aeropox?
Aeropox TP.
The Zyro TP?
To hold tower, I guess. Is it that low?
Is it worth holding?
Also a fair question. Maybe he wanted to be here ahead of time for the dragon.
Oh, Gid got spotted. Oh, no. Had it been just a slightly different angle or just slightly later, I think that's just an absolutely genius 200 IQ flank from Gid, but he gets spotted by JJH on the Tribush ward, and that means that it isn't, and he looks really stupid right now.
It also means that they're 100% giving this next dragon, which kind of sucks, but...
Oh, Aeropox? The assassination? The auto attack? Oh, the Jinx rocket almost took it. Maybe it would have been better
really
had
nice
the Jinx rocket take it. Yeah.
Yep.
Atlas is unfortunately...
himself, actually. Could have just walked around the corner of that wall and not gotten hit by stun there.
Yeah, I think that maybe he couldn't have. I'm not sure. Um, one mistake leads to another, though, and RTM loses 3 kills, and now the dragon, and
As an
Okena picks
avid
up a
skill
tower.
shot dodger, I can confirm 100% he was actually out. That being said, that's another dragon into the pocket series-wide, not another for this game. They're actually evening up the dragon score for Conduit esports.
I mean, we're at like 3-8 now, if my pocket math is correct.
Something like that, yeah.
This Anivia is a problem.
Oh, yeah, absolutely massive problem.
I mean, Black Eyed Peas is also a problem, but in the grand scope of things, JJH is the major villain waiting at the end of the arc for Return of the Middle Sticks. Ragnarok popped. Okena scrapping this one out. Gid is here for Vandrel. They pinched off the Soraka, which, fair enough. Curse of the Sad Mummy used just to lock up Soraka. They'll take the 1 kill, and Gid will go space. Carno do that.
Cargo Road.
Cargo Road. Thank you.
It's actually one of my favorite comments.
Can we take this upstairs? What's upstairs? They don't answer. Alright. That whole series of comics is just like they're all related. They're not necessarily like all together, you know? This is definitely a fight that's happening. That bullet time was enough to almost kill 3 people and zone 2 more, and oh my gosh, it didn't go well for Return of the Middle Sticks. So DXBS gets his kill. He gets involved with the Ornhorn, and we have Zyra versus Nivea isolated in bottom lane, as everyone predicted from draft. Old Man X is flashing forward, looking for Alice. Gid is still here, though. You can't really ignore that. Oh, just enough time on the star call or the wish from Vandrel, and that'll keep his ADC alive. Aeropox teleports in to maybe get the kill. No, Vandrel is there.
Oof.
Oof. Ouch, even my bones.
So these are my notes / critiques / edits. Soraka, good character.
Does Zyra have bones?
No.
Is Zyra like canonically just a plant?
I think so.
So she has like xylem and phloem and not bones.
That would be my understanding. Yeah. Although, does she not have like bark as well? I guess bark would be skin.
Yeah, bark is just a epidermis layer. Yeah. So then counter
something science degree.
Counter thing. So does she just need water, like water and sunlight? Does she have to go out there and photosynthesize to live? Or
Theoretically speaking?
Or is she just okay?
I'm not sure. I thought I remembered like vaguely something lore-wise where Zyra like... No, it's because they were in the forest. Like that's why she kills people.
Yeah,
she
kills people because she doesn't like them, not because she eats them.
In that case, I would assume if she does not have bones, and the plant theory is correct, then yes, photosynthesis is the only requirement.
I love that we have an answer for if Xayah has a cloaca, but we don't have that answer. So.
What? Wait, how do we have that answer?
Ryder answered it.
No shot.
Yeah, it was in the subreddit. It was like a year or 2 after her release, but yeah. They kept asking, or no, it was in the Ask Riot even, because they kept asking if Xayah laid eggs, and they confirmed that she doesn't lay eggs. Which, ergo, she doesn't have a cloaca.
True.
Anyway,
This
there's
fight's
an
not going
engage
to go
happening.
well.
Yeah, this is not going well for Return to the Middle Sticks. They're getting sieged and broken down. The Old Man Genetics isn't even here. Now he finally contributes his first bit to the fight, which is forcing Atlas to flash away with his E and R. Vandroll is probably dead. Okina heard that you needed to kill Soraka to have a chance against this team, and he does it. Atlas gets the reset. I don't think he can fight his way out of this one, but they got two. They might get JJH's
He's getting
egg.
dangerously close to picking up JJH here, but they are 100% going to lose this inhibitor, no doubt. Smitty's almost up, so they probably don't push for more with Gid spawning in 8 seconds, and they are going to gate their way out. He's actually just... he's like... he's just building.
What's he doing?
Just build, lol.
Yeah. He's playing the inferior version of Fortnite.
Still waiting for the Minecraft Fortnite crossover called Just Build, lol.
Where there's no guns. You only
There's
do
no guns, it's
blocking.
just building. You can't actually like fight anybody. You just walk around, you pick up materials, and you build things. It's just Minecraft, but you can be Naruto while you play it.
Honestly,
or
that
Goku.
sounds like a pretty big upgrade. Truly. Vandroll is
Fact.
caught and dead. So that's a positive pickup for Return to the Middle Sticks. I don't think that they get anything particularly from that other than they killed Soraka, but you take...
Yeah, I mean it's hard to complain about getting Soraka off of the board if you're Return to the Middle Sticks in this game. You've been trying to get Soraka off of the board for the entire game. I'm not over the fact that they put that in an Ask Riot video. I am...
Or not a video, the like...
the blog post though,
Yeah.
like I'm upset.
Yeah, they answered does Xayah lay eggs, like explicitly.
Oh man. This doesn't feel like it's super fun if you're a bird.
Yeah, he's got his eggs
Okina-
however he wanted them. Okina's just kind of
Becoming a problem.
fighting him. Gid is losing the jungler 1v1 that we all wanted at the start of the game. Oh, Okina almost got the XBS. Aeropox is looking for the Ornn assassination. Aeropox? He's going to walk over a ward, and this is going to be really sad for him potentially in a second. I don't know why we're watching MF just walk through the jungle. This is so warded. What is happening? Atlas is bottom.
Nothing good. As far as I can tell.
I had to sneeze in the middle of that. I apologize.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, Atlas Rocket comes in. Vandroll is really low. That one plant almost assassinates Vandroll. The Ignite isn't quite enough from Smitty to finish that one off, and now it's just Aeropox versus the world. Old Man Genetics finally joins and just 2-taps him.
It's so close every time they go for a kill with specifically Aeropox. Like he's so close to being one-shot status, but there's a reason that they made the character not one-shot status anymore because people kept playing it mid. So.
Did you play when?
Oh, this is a
oh
good
my
flank.
god, this is a really good flank from Gid. They're able to take down MF. Can they get anything more though? Yeah, and they'll beat around DXBS and eventually take down the Ornn. RTM holding pretty steady. They've brought the gold lead back from about 8,000, I believe, to about 4,000, if I remember my math.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty close to 8,000 if it wasn't 8,000 straight up, and then you know we're looking at a timeline where if Conduit esports doesn't stop like handing things off, well, they're not handing things away for free, but they're taking more aggressive options than they really need to into a pick comp, then you know the gold lead's going to equalize eventually.
Yeah, this is probably the play that you need to do for CEG. Gonna go ahead and start up the Baron, get scouted by the
this
Jinx
seems
Rocket.
like the answer for that.
They'll send away Smitty. That might not be the right timing, though. In comes Aeropox over the wall. He has enough damage to actually burst through. In comes the E over the wall. The one plant isn't quite enough to steal. That was maybe overhyping it a bit. Not much of a chance there. Now Okina going to hit the deck for a little bit. Smitty goes in. This is a big Curse of the Sad Mummy, but there's just not really a battle line set, and there's not really anything good happening for RTM around this Baron right now. Atlas trying to kite back away Aeropox just with a disengaging knock up with the Stranglethorns, and it's just Aeropox and Gid left alive. The flash forward, the silence from Vandal. Do they have anything else? It doesn't look like they can tag Aeropox with anything. Gid maybe taking some of their attention, but now can ROTM stay alive through the siege? Is the important question. MF
They've
got the
only
Syzygy.
got they've only got 30 seconds until they're all fully back up, so it's just going to be the straight up Baron and not the Baron power play angle, where you get to, take a bunch of things after getting the buff.
Yeah, they might get this mid lane tower. That'd be probably about maximizing what they've got just this second. I don't know that they can actually stick around for this. Gid already back on the flank looking for a similar result to what he had last time. There's 20 seconds to go in this Ocean Dragon, but it doesn't matter. I've talked a lot about these dragons not mattering. This one doesn't matter. It kind of sucks to give away a dragon for free, I get it. But, like, giving up Dragon 3 in this situation I don't think hurts you as Dread. So, what is the play?
Alternatively speaking, if... no, this is really good for Dread. I mean, it's not that it takes them a long time, but any amount of time spent wasting Baron buff is great.
Smitty?
I don't know why we're fighting this. I don't know why we're fighting this. Oh no.
No.
I have no notes.
I was going to narrate a team fight, but this is not really a team fight that's happening.
Not a fight. Not
really well
fighting.
kited back by CEG, and they grab 3 more kills. They might pick up Aeropox at the end of this one, and I don't know if Atlas. Oh, they might get Atlas instead. That's actually bigger because Atlas can wave clear. They'll pick up Aeropox as well. That might just be the end of the game now, with them marching it down mid lane with this minion wave. Smitty will be up. Gid will be up, but you still have 37 seconds on either carry.
Yeah. I don't know how you're expected to stop this, really. It's just, it's such a head scratcher to me that engage was actually followed through.
Yeah, I think if you just cut your losses at Smitty, it's fine. I think the real play is the Firelight Special, where you just run it down mid for a little bit. But
oh yeah,
regardless, absolutely. It's a 3-0 for CEG. They're going to advance to round 2, and they have eliminated both of the RotM Gold teams in back-to-back weeks. So congratulations to them. They're moving on. I don't know who they play. I didn't actually look in the bracket or anything, so really well prepared for this. But congratulations to them for ROTM Dread. They were our last hope in Aegis League, and they get knocked out in the first round. So very sad times to be a middle stick, I guess. But can't dwell on it for too long, because next week, I don't know if Surprise Party's back in action. I think that they have a gap week actually, but I do believe that our Victorious team, Darkwind, is back. So we'll have a game Thursday night, if nothing else. And they're playing OER, which is...
That name sounds familiar.
Oblivion Esports Ruby.
Okay,
Starring
not the OER I was thinking of.
Feet Ravens, man.
Huh. Neat.
So yeah, a 3-0 for Conduit Esports Ghost. Let's focus in. Who do they actually play next week? They play the winner of DZG Elysium and Clown Gaming Fools. So they play DZG Elysium.
Yeah, almost assuredly, actually.
That team is pretty good at League of Legends.
Yeah.
So, that said, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll see you Thursday, maybe, for VRS. Maybe before then for Meta Shift. But thanks to Aegis for having us this split. Honestly, I believe all of our teams had a good time. Didn't have anything super silly happen. So, wanted to give a quick shout out to them. Also wanted to give a very big shout out to Ooga Booga Gaming for donating during our Pride Month incentive and for generally just being the homies. Hopefully they do well. I believe they play tonight as well. I don't remember if they made it or not.
I think so. Not positive.
They're playing Team Ambition Breeze, so hopefully they're doing well.
Oh. Yeah.
So yeah, who are we gonna raid? We're gonna raid Aegis. Let's see what's going on. It looks like Imperial Gaming versus TDS, Team Death something, Team Dragon something. They're just TDS Knights. Okay, TDS Knights versus Imperial Gaming. Go watch that. Support Aegis. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you Thursday. Bye. Oh, I always do that. There's 10 seconds on the raid.
Ah,
Rip me.
unlucky, really.